wonderful sweet babies. So today we're going to be talking about this whole situation with Boss Man D-Lo's ouster. So if you guys are unaware, there is a man that pretty much came forth and stated that Boss Man D-Lo was, on the D-Lo. So now this person is backtracking and stating that everything was fake and it was all AI. So this person is claiming they are a trans woman, but the only thing that they have to offer is a BBL and some clothes that they got. And the clothes look like they're dancer clothes. And they're wearing tons of makeup with a fro. But they are claiming to be transgender. And they've stated that they've been talking to Bossman D-Lo. So we're going to go ahead and take a few looks at the person that is accusing Bossman D-Lo. And then we will start getting into the meat and potatoes. All right, so this is her child. This is the exposer of Bossman D-Lo that claims that he has been on the D-Lo with him. Yeah, I mean, you guys could clearly see what she's giving. And, she put out the alleged receipts of Bossman D-Lo hopping in her DMs. And I will definitely go ahead and show you guys those clips as well. But all in all, this is the accuser giving very much Sydney Star with no wig on. All right, so this is how everything pretty much all started. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this clip of these text messages that came out. So the alleged person's name is Timmy, and this is pretty much Timmy showing on his phone that, him and Bossman D-Lo have been talking and that Bossman D-Lo reached out to him first. So this is what you're pretty much seeing here. And I'll blow up what it says at the bottom in a second. So at the bottom, Timmy said, "Babe, ain't nothing fake. He literally texted me the whole time. I'm vanished mode. He sent me his number." So then after that, there was some alleged text messages that came forth. So we're going to go ahead and look at those alleged text messages. So first things first, he posted his contact. I'm going to blow that up so I could read what he said. So he said, "Y'all, the way he thought I was going to link him for free is crazy. I'm going to post the messages on my other page." So these are the alleged messages. Timmy says, "What's your real name?" And Bossman D-Lo says, "I ain't giving mine, you ain't giving yours." And then says, "And confusing how. Justin, my real name," is what Timmy says. So then Bossman D-Lo says, "Oh Lord, so you is that." Then says, "Dat ish def confusing. Yeah, I know, sorry," is what Timmy says. "God made me this pretty, LOL. Understand if you not effing with me now, though." And then Bossman D-Lo says, "I appreciate you being real. I never did that. I don't want to be all over the blogs and S." Bossman D-Lo then responds and said, "Just looked at your Twitter." And that's when, Timmy put out there like he knew I was a boy. So Bossman D-Lo then says, "I can see now you just do people any kind of way." Timmy responds and said, "I haven't done nothing to you though, so what you talking about?" And then Bossman D-Lo says, "I'm just saying, you not genuine for real. You just about money, F a bond, F a real friend, real vibe." Then Timmy says, "All you talking about is linking up and having Astro." Bossman says, "You act like we can pop out and be in a relationship though, LOL." Then Timmy says, "I mean, you started the conversation talking actually. What am I supposed to be thinking? LOL." Then blocks out some stuff and says on the top of their story, "Okay, this all I'm showing. Go to my Finsta to get more on y'all fave rappers." So Timmy posts this Insta story saying this: "I would have kept it on the D-Lo if you didn't waste my time trying to get this bandsome gok for free." So pretty much after all of that came forth, that's when Bossman D-Lo finally came out like a week later and pretty much said this. So this is what Bossman D-Lo said. He said, "I ain't trying to blank nobody on the internet. I don't even play them games. Just keep this ish in the streets when you decide you want to play with a real street Anna." He then says, "That's all I gotta say. new music on the way, new videos, new sauce, I'm coming. So immediately after, I guess that scared Timmy straight because he posted this right after D-Man or Boss Man D-Lo, whatever his name is, child. This is what he posted after.
That's the Bossman situation. Bossman D-Lo never messaged me. It was AI. It was edited. It was photoshopped. I did everything good with the video of him texting me because my homegirl, it was my homegirl's phone. He messaged a real female. She's a popular influencer that I hang out with. So I made it seem like he messaged me, but he never really messaged me. And I made a fake thread of me texting myself back. I know it sounds crazy and I just did all this stuff on the internet for attention, but a bitch was bored. And I thought it was funny, but now I know it's not funny because I'm really fucking with this man's career and his money. I'm sorry, you guys. Y'all can bash me, y'all can hate me. I really don't give a fuck.
So here's my thoughts. I definitely think, in my own personal opinion, that Bossman D-Lo is still on the D-Lo. I think that he hit Timmy up with several, hey, I'm a real street N-word, you know what I'm saying? And I honestly think that that scared Timmy straight. And because of everything that Bossman D-Lo was saying, Timmy was like, I don't want no problems. So that's when Timmy went to the internet and portrayed that everything was AI and everything was fake. And, my homegirl this. And, he texted my homegirl, not me. But no, I don't think that AI works this well. I think that, Bossman D-Lo is still on the D-Lo. It's just, Timmy was scared straight and had to recant everything that Miss Little Timmy had to say. So I think that's what the real issue is. If it so happens to be that that's not true, which I'm like 95% sure that those text messages and everything, it's true. If it so happens to not be true, I think that, this is why the LGBT plus, all that community, LGBTQ plus AI community, this is why they get the rep that they get, because there's certain people like this in the community that do things that, cause for it to be a joke and it to be looked at as well, I'm going to oust people and I'm going to do this to affect people's career. And it's mainly just from the, G men as well as the trans women. And that's the main people you see under that umbrella that are always about that exposing culture. You never really see this from, the L women or, any other types of people under this umbrella. Just primarily the G men and the trans women. That's the only time you see this type of situations happen. And they give a bad rep for the rest of the people in the community that are trans women and G men. Because not all of these trans women and, G men act like this. Some of them actually have common fucking sense. And it's just really sad that you get a select few that are about this whole ousting culture, and they make it hard for the other people within the community that aren't about this ousting culture. They make it hard for them to just coexist and be living in their truth. This is why you have so many people that are ashamed and afraid to actually come out, because you have things like this that happen where people look at, people are going to be looking at me a certain type of way, or they'll think that I'm, into this type of lifestyle, like this exposing lifestyle, or they'll think that, I'm about doing X, Y, and Z of, just being a shisty, messy type person. And this is why you get a lot of people that aren't from that community, the LGB plus, community. This is why you get actually a lot of people that don't take what they do seriously. They don't take their, whole umbrella of things seriously. They don't take them, coming out seriously. They don't take any of this stuff seriously. But like I said, honestly, all in all, regardless of if it's supposed to be allegedly fake, regardless if it's supposed to be allegedly real, regardless if, Boss Man D-Lo is on the DO. I mean, I don't think nothing's fake about it. I think that it's 100% real. And I just think that, they had a little convo and they're just going to continue to keep things undercover like it was. This Timmy person seems to be very much about that money. And I think that that money came through. And that's why Timmy's actually now recanting the situation and bussy bopping and letting everybody know, hey, it's fake. I lied, because that check probably cleared. But regardless of the fact, it doesn't mean nothing to me. I don't want Boss Man D-Lo, so I mean, it's not gonna affect me if he was DL or straight or a stud with, a mustache on. It's not going to affect me in any kind of a way. As long as he keeps popping out that music like he's doing, then me and him are cool. But that's my opinion. What's yours?